Hey, are you struggling with meditation, visualization, right? You know, when it comes to using the law of attraction in our subconscious mind, there are many different techniques you can do. And you must remember, when it comes to manifesting, not one size fits all. It's just manifesting and creating your world is basically a blueprint system. And there's many different channels you can use to manifest your dreams and goals. For example, you can visualize, you can meditate, you can use affirmations, right? So those are some of the popular methods we use. But many of us aren't versed in that. Maybe you haven't done it enough. Some people can't visualize. They have a condition where they can't see images and to develop feelings, right? So you have to remember that. And you have to remember to be open-minded. So I want to share a powerful method with you that I may have talked about a lot, but it's very powerful. And it's called scripting or writing it down. This is very, very powerful. A matter of fact, you know, if you can master this, it can be more powerful than actually visualizing. And I'll show you why. But remember, it's what works for you and what you resonate with. So if you're struggling maybe with meditation or visualization, I believe this is what you need to do that will take you over the hump. The power of scripting, the power of writing it down. So I'm going to show you, we're going to talk about what it is, how it works with the subconscious. I'm going to show you examples of how you can do it and why it's so powerful. So if you write it down, it must come true. All right, so first let's begin. So we have to know how your mind kind of operates, your subconscious mind. The subconscious mind is looking for symbols, pictures, feelings, anything in the moment. If you can do something physically in the moment, some action-oriented thing, it's highly effective in your subconscious mind. That's why when you write it down, you become ingrained in the moment. See, the thing about the subconscious mind is this. When you're writing stuff down, you have two parts of your mind working. Conscious, subconscious. This is why it's so powerful. This is why it can be a little more powerful than visualizing. Because the ego is on board. Because what happens is, when you write something down, your mind is busy processing the information. That's your conscious mind. I'm going to show you how to write it down. And then at the same time, you're feeling emotions and you're witnessing something physical that you're doing. It's entrenched in your subconscious. So your subconscious get that even more ingrained. And your conscious mind now sees something physical. It sees, oh, this happened. Now, how do you write it down, Mark? Like, what's the best way to do it? All right, so here's another thing you got to know when it comes. So when you're going to script, or I like to call it the evidence journal. When you do your evidence journal, right? You should title it that. You should say my evidence journal. Listen to the word evidence. You need that because your conscious mind, right? The ego wants to see stuff, and your subconscious mind will adapt to it. So here's what you should do. Whenever you write something, you have to write it as if it already happened. You can write it in the present or you can write it in the past. I've written stuff down before and I've done it with the past technique. The present is good in the past, but I think the past is more powerful, and I'll show you what I mean by that. Okay, now once you do it that way, here is what happens now. You title it your evidence journal, right? So now your mind is looking for evidence. So if you are already in this stuff, you're going to see a lot of signs. So when you go to write in your evidence journal, the signs you see daily. I see 7-7. I see this. Remember, nothing is a coincidence. So you're building up an evidence for your ego so it can diminish. So your ego says, okay, yeah, you're seeing signs. So that's part one. Now here's part two. When you write something down, write it as if it happened. And I'll give an example. I'm going to say, man, you go write, say, I remember when I manifested such and such. It felt so good when I manifested that new car. See that? It was the best experience when I manifested my dream job. I remember the day clearly when I walked in and I received that such and such. That's the past. Okay? That's how you're going to write it down. So anything like that is very powerful. Let me show you why that's very powerful. Because subconscious is what? Illogical. So as far as your subconscious is concerned, that already happened. You write it down, and when you go read it, you're convincing your subconscious this already happened. But Mark, there's a problem. My ego knows that this didn't happen. So what's happening here? Is my ego going to give me resistance? Well, what will happen is your ego will give you a little bit of resistance, which is fine, because the trigger is really to your subconscious. So when it comes to your ego, it's actually irrelevant, because now you're creating a memory within the unconscious mind. See, we create memories in the conscious mind, right? When something has already happened, right? Think about that. In order for you to have a memory in your regular mind, what has to happen? You have to do it. It happened before. It's an experience. Now imagine if you create a memory in the subconscious mind, right? The same way you do in your conscious mind, but it didn't happen yet. What do you think is gonna happen? The experience has to come fast now. So when I write stuff down in the past and say, like, it felt good when I did this. I remembered when this happened. Just like that. I felt good when this. I remember when this happened. What happens now? My subconscious mind is like, wait a minute. This happened? Where is it? Where's the vibration? So now it scrambles very quickly to make sure the memory matches my experience. That's why it's so powerful. That's why it could be a little more powerful than visualization. When you visualize, your ego can get in the way. Now, visualizing is very powerful when you have your ego in check, all right? But this is just for strictly individuals who may struggle with meditation or visualization. Scripting is very powerful. So that's the past one. That's the one I do, and I think it's very powerful. I believe you can go ahead and put it to work and see what happens. Now I'll show you the one with everyone uses, which is in the present moment. That's also very powerful. So why is that very powerful? Because when you write something in the present, it's as if it's happening now. And again, the subconscious lives in the present, right? And when you write it down, it's a vibration, and then you have the evidence, and you can go back and you can look at it. So when you're gonna write something down in the present, you write it down as like, well, dear universe, or you can say your name, dear Mark. Today I'm so excited. It felt so good to manifest to have this. You know, write it down like something like a movie play, like you're going through it. You know, today was a very insightful day. I went and I manifested this. It felt so good to have my goal. I'll be moving into my new apartment. I am now living in my new apartment. I have the furniture. See what I'm saying? Present. Those are the two ways scripting. Everyone uses the present moment, which works great. But I'm just saying, personally for me, I like the past because I find that so powerful, because in my subconscious, I think it works a lot. I believe it works a lot faster because it has to catch up with the experience. Just like in my conscious mind, right? I cannot have a memory unless I've done it before. Think about that. You cannot remember something if you haven't done it. Give an example. In your conscious mind, you think of a time like, oh yeah, I remember when I bought that couch. See that? The only reason you can remember you bought a couch is because you've actually physically done it. It's an experience. So what if I trick my subconscious the opposite now, and I give my subconscious the memory before the experience? What do you think will happen? It has to, remember now, what is my subconscious job? To become congruent with my reality. So I'm writing down like it's in the past, like it felt good when I did this. I remember when I manifested this. It was such a good feeling to do that. Now my subconscious is like, where is it at? See that? So that's my belief on that, and it worked for me before, and I'm sharing it with you. But let me state again now. Let me say it again. Writing down in the present is very powerful as well. But so now you have two gems, and you can practice each one and see which one resonates with you the most. But the bottom line is this: whenever we write our script, it engages both hemispheres of the mind. All parts of your brain is at work. You're in what? Your fingers, your hands are moving, right? You're in action mode. The brain, every part of the brain is firing off. That's why writing is so powerful. You're engaging all parts of your cognitive senses and feelings. And then the most important, you can go back and physically look at it. You have evidence, and that will convince your mind even more. That's why scripting or writing down is so powerful, because it affects all parts of the mind. It gets your ego in on the game. It creates less distraction because your ego is busy processing. And then you have evidence you can go back and look at. Remember, This is for your subconscious now. So when you go back and look, even though your conscious is saying this didn't happen yet, that's fine. We're impressing our subconscious, which is highly illogical. So there you have it, the power of writing it down. And I believe if you're struggling, this is the key to get your success. Now the thing is, you do this. You can do this daily, or every couple of days, or weekly. So remember, because time is irrelevant here, it's just about the vibration. But if you're someone, I'd recommend you, because remember, if you write it down, you don't have to write down every day now. You can write down 3 times a week, whatever desires come in a week. And remember, you're going to go back and you're going to review your writing. So it's when you're reviewing it, it's like you're doing it already. So you don't need to write every day. Now, for some people, it may help you to write every day because it raises your vibration and makes you feel good. Again, remember, guys, this is a tool that resonates with you. So this is why you have to go and input it and see what works for you, because each person, they manifest differently. Some people are great at visualization, some people are great at meditation, and you may discover you're great at scripting, and that may be your trigger point to help you manifest. But the power of scripting overall is very powerful, and it really works when you apply it the right way.